Hey everybody, this is Wardrone and I am back with more FTL. The last video that I had where it's not going to continue. The rest of the videos were too corrupt. I couldn't upload them. They were unwatchable. I'm still having problems trying to adjust, my sound and everything for the game. So please bear with me. I'm still working it out. I'm getting better. I'm all new to this, so just stick with me as I go through everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue a new game, but what I'd like to do is, as part of more of the tutorial type deal, is go over the different races. So I'm going to cut to a bunch of races, explain what they do, and give you my opinions of what's better for what. And some are obvious, and some not so much. So we're going to go over that. Okay, these are the humans. They have no exceptional traits, but they have no weaknesses either. They're just average, okay? They're well-rounded, so they're human. Here we go. We have the Mantis, which, as you know, their movement speed is really good, and they do double damage in combat, but their repair speed is halved. Here we have the Engi, which are the opposite of Mantis, except for their movement speed is normal. So they inflict half damage, but their repair speed is doubled. Um, their repair speed is doubled compared to like a human, so it would take two humans to do what an Engi can do in the same room, and it would take four Mantises to do what an Engi can do, or two Mantises to do what a human can do. As far as repairs. So they're not the greatest as far as fighting goes, the Engi, but I would take them over the Zoltan because they still have 100 health and they can still outlast the damage. While they can take a hit better than a Zoltan can with 70 health. Alright, here we have the Zoltan. Their health is 70. They are garbage. They are the worst in fighting because they cannot take a hit. Regardless of what they're going up against, you're going to be just running them in and out of the med bay. If you have to fight and you have all Zoltan, or you only have Zoltan, I would suggest trying to drain the oxygen and getting the boarders into your medical bay. It's the only way you're going to be able to fight and not have to micromanage them. That pretty much goes with every race, but with these guys, their health drops so fast, it's not even funny. But their benefit, which is a good and bad benefit, like it'll add 1 power to the system, the room that they're in. I don't like to use them in my shields or my weapons, and I'll tell you why. If they get hit and I have to move them out of that room and I have no backup or extra power in my reactor, the system's going to shut down. If you have backup power in your reactor, well, there's really no need to stick them in there anyway, but if you have backup power in your reactor, it will put that power into that room once, into that system once they leave. But usually I keep them in something like the med bay. I'll keep one. Oxygen, I'll keep one. Something like that. Something where if I move them, I have time, to pull power from somewhere else. Like my weapon is not going to shut down and completely recharge again, from the beginning. Like, oh, it's ready to fire. Oh, I got to move the guy. Oh, man, I lost power. You know, you understand what I'm saying. That's the downside of these guys. So I wouldn't keep them in shields and I wouldn't keep them in weapons. A lot of people say keep them there. It'll keep the power all the time. Well, not if it gets hit or they're being attacked. There's boarders in there and you got to move them. Then you're in trouble. So I try and not keep them in those two rooms. They have no effect on subsystems, by the way. So your doors, your scanners, and your pilot, nothing. You can keep them in there and nothing will happen. Okay, I want to demonstrate what I was talking about with these guys. Okay, so I only have We're gonna unpower that. I have no backup power in my reactor, right? So whether I pull one or two, there goes my shields. They're gone. This is the Zoltan shield. That's the only reason you see this. That's something different. It's got its own power, which recharges with every jump. So putting them back in, yay. But like I said, if this gets hit or borders come in and you got to move these guys without having backup power, you're kind of, you're kind of screwed, really. But here's an example. Look, okay, the shield is up. I have backup power, and you pull one out, the other out, right? Okay, you're good. Now let's show when you pull both of them out how it works. Okay. So you see, you have to have that reactor power there. Here, okay, your weapons, they will only charge whatever weapon is on the left. So you see, you can't add it to this weapon or any of these other weapons. So if you want it for the Lido or whatever you have to have that weapon in the first slot. That's how they work. Let me pull that out. Oh, I'm good. Okay. All right. Let me show you. I have this powered, and it's charging, right? Now something happens. Borders are coming in. I got to pull this guy out. Stop charging. Let's see what happens when I pull him out. And I have the extra reactor power. Does it stop charging? No. So as you see, if you have to move these guys, you should pause the game, pull power from somewhere else to add to the room that they're leaving, if you can, if you want to keep that system up. Or else it's going to start all over and you'll have to recharge, or your shield will go down and then back up, or you're going to lose that whatever's in that system. It's gone, until you can bring them back if you don't have that extra reactor power. Here we have the slugs. They have 100 health, but I don't know, they still don't seem to take a hit very well, but I guess, they are better than the NG or Zoltan, of course. But let's go to the ship. They have the telepathic ability, which means you can see enemy ships, but you can't see them. You can just see little red dots. You still can't see each room unless you have your scanners upgraded. Their ability on your own ship only extends to the room they're in and the rooms they're around. So if he was here, it would only light up that. Okay, so there is a achievement for showing all the rooms. So you have to put these guys in a place that will, light up the most amount of rooms possible when you board, if you want that achievement. Here we have the Rockmen. Immune to fire, movement speed is halved, health is 150. I consider the Rockmen the best boarders in the game. I would rather use my Mantis. If you have Mantis, I would rather use them to defend. Mantis would be the second best boarders, but Rockmen are awesome. People say, oh, why send the Rockmen, they hardly can move. Well, when you board, you really don't move around. Aside from the Crystal Men, these are the best boarders. Especially if your scanners are down and you're jumping in blind. They have the health, they're immune to fire. I've had it where I jumped blind with my Mantis crew and that room was on fire. They had upgraded doors. They had crew attacking me and my Mantis were burning alive and they couldn't get out in time. My teleporter wasn't up to pull them out in time and they died. A crystal ship, guys, I can't show you. I believe they have 120 or 125 health. I'm not positive. It's been a while since I got the pod and you know, got the crystal guy out of it or anything. I still haven't unlocked the crystal ship. But the crystal guys, they're amazing for boarding because they have that ability to lock anybody out of the room. Here's a hint. If you jump in to a med bay with a crystal guy and you lock it out, you can destroy the med bay, which is, you know, amazing. The only problem is no matter how fast you are, if they're like one room away, if they're here, like the enemy's here in this room here, hold on, let's call this guy the enemy. And you teleport here and this guy moves while you're not really, well, bad example because the rockmen are slow, but other ones, human or a mantis, will be able to get in the room before you, even if you hit that right away, their special ability to lock out the room, they will be able to get in. So having scanners is pretty nice to make sure that you have the leeway. You may want to jump like to another room with them um, to draw them out and then run in to the med bay and lock it out afterwards. But that's up to you. Yeah, I would take these guys as boarders over the mantis, definitely. And here's why. I rather much prefer mantis being on my own ship defending because of their movement speed. I can run them anywhere in the ship, and when they take damage, I can run them pretty fast to the med bay and back again. Of course, rockmen aren't that good as defending, but as boarders, you don't really move around. So that's why I like to use them, and they can outlast damage better than, and you know, better than anything. A lot of times you see you'll use two mantis and one is practically dead while the other one's good because they're tag teaming on that mantis. If you do that with a rock guy, they still usually have a fair amount of health and can hang in there a lot longer. You don't have to run them around, and they can definitely last as long as it takes for your teleporter to be back up. So these guys are great. Crystal guys are the next best thing. Alright, thanks for joining me. That's it on crew members as far as I can tell. Well, as far as I can show you right now. Alright, take care.